Hi everybody, welcome to my mid-year Techo Kaigi for 2025. I've been binge watching all of the videos on YouTube and I'm finally getting around to doing it myself, even though we're already past halfway, aren't we? But that's fine. I didn't do One Book July challenge this year. That's the big sort of July journal planner challenge in the planner community. I thought about doing it and then I thought, there's too much other stuff going on. I was sort of working on a big other side project in terms of planners at that point. So yeah, I'm just going to go through all of my planners and journals that I've been using this year, things that worked, things that didn't, you know, the usual thing. I'm going to do it though in categories because I'm going to get overwhelmed otherwise. So I am going to do it category by category in terms of use. So I'm going to start off with my everyday carry, which is where I put social arrangements, plans, work dates, you know, all the actual adulting life stuff, bills, finance stuff, you know, all the usual stuff that I've got to remember. Then I'm going to go through memory keeping, which is the place where I have been attempting to, you know, store memories, photos and things. Then I'm going to do my personal me journal, which is more like just me releasing my inner thoughts in a really private, safe space. And then I've got a work journal, which is not like my day job work. It is my sort of I don't want to say side hustle. I hate that word. I hate the word hustle. It makes me feel stressed. I'm calling it a sidecar, as in my main job is like the motor car that's actually keeping things ticking on because I have a steady income. And then the sidecar is the fun bit that you sit in and just enjoy the ride, don't you? My creative income job, basically. And then I'm going to just go through a few like hobby specialist planners that I use for specific things. So that's the plan. I hope you enjoy. So in previous years, my everyday carry has always been, or pretty much always has been, a Hobonichi Weeks, which I did buy for 2025, but I didn't use it as an everyday carry. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to try combining everyday carry with memory keeping. So previously I would do everyday carry would be this, so this would be like dates and everything, and then I would have just a separate journal that I would supposedly be memory keeping. Memory keeping is always really hard for me. I don't know why. I think I'm just a bit of a miserable sod, and like celebrating lovely things in our lives, I'm just, oh, it's such an effort. And remembering to print photos and remembering what we did, I can't. It's really hard because I feel like it's something you have to keep on top of. You sort of have to do it regularly so that you don't forget everything that you've done. And I'm not very good at doing anything regularly. So I thought maybe it would be less pressure to sort of have it all in one. And then the whole year, all of our plans and all of our, you know, dates plus all the memories would all be in one. So that's what I tried. So I've got a Hobonichi cover, but I actually have inside a Take a Note planner. And these are really nice planners, I have to say. I'm really enjoying it. The papers are really nice. Yeah, it's really lovely, but I don't think I'm going to get one next year. I don't know why. I didn't fall in love with it. It's like, you know, when you see someone and you think, yeah, it's like, you can see that they're attractive, but they just don't do it for you. It's kind of what it is with this planner. It's like, yeah, it's lovely, and I'm sure it's very, very popular, and I'm sure it'd be someone's perfect planner, but it's just, I don't know, I'm just not quite, I don't know, I haven't fallen in love with it. But I'll just go very quickly through because I know these videos can get very, very long and very, very detailed very quickly and a bit overwhelming. So I'm just going to try and quickly go through how I've used it as both everyday carry and memory keeper, and then how it's worked and how it hasn't. I'm going to try really hard to be succinct, so bear with me. Just quickly, the cover is kind of a thing I quite like to do. I've done it a couple of years now where I have a planner and then I use one sticker from each month of my Patreon sheets. So I think that's January, February, March maybe. I think that might be April. I think May went a bit wrong and I didn't do May. That must be June, July, and then that's August, which isn't actually out yet. So that's a sneak peek for anybody who's on my Patreon. But I have actually done the August sheet already, which is beachcombing. I've got a few things in the pockets. These are photos, that's why they're covered up. So yes, it's so hard for me to think how to explain this. I have gone through it and tried to hide all the personal information because obviously that's a sensible thing to do. This page I just use for period tracker because you've got to have that somewhere. That's a standard everyday carry thing. The monthly calendars. Do you know what? Actually, going back, what I tried to do in this was to combine everyday carry, memory keeper, and my creative work. That was what I was going to do at the beginning of the year, and I've ended up just splitting them all out again. But I can see on my monthly spread that this is like creative work here in this pen, and then this is obviously like everyday stuff. So I've just tried to squish it all into one, and I found that it just didn't work. My brain couldn't work out what I was doing when, and so if I want to see what have I got to do today, what are my real commitments that I have to remember, what dates and times I have to remember, I'd look at this page and there'd be too much almost, too much information for me to take in. So like I found that a bit stressful. I don't think I missed any important appointments, but it didn't make it easier for me as an everyday carry. But yeah, I didn't do anything particularly fancy. I did stick stickers up here, just one of my stickers I think each month. Yeah, and this is an example of a month where I haven't actually done it yet. This is like very basic. I used a little, what are they called? I'm rummaging for one now. Little Deco Rush. They're really tricky sometimes though. I find them a bit like, they work sometimes and they don't others. I use those for dates and birthdays, but I didn't write whose birthday until the later pages, just made it a bit easier. Yeah, this is another example spread I thought I'd show you, which is my sort of goals for the year or things I wanted to do more of. And I've done quite a few of them, but what I want to do is get some, like gold star stickers you get when you're at primary school. I'm going to see if I can get some of those, and I'll just stick them on the ones that I feel like I've made progress with, just for my own satisfaction. So that goes in here. What else have I got? So this was how I started. So I started off quite strong. You have the weekly down the side, and I was doing a good mixture of like daily to-do lists, things I want to do, tasks, a little bit of journaling about what we did that day. I usually stick this in from my printable sheets so that I know that that went live on that day, using up little stickers. That was how I wanted to do it, and it is really lovely. And I think for somebody, this would be the perfect planner to do that, because it is really nice having everything in one place, like a full sort of catalogue of the year. But it got too overwhelming for me, I think, in the end. This is a more realistic week, so it would just be like to-do list, and I wouldn't get around to memory keeping, and I wouldn't get around to doing anything much at all. So I thought I'd share that one. And again, this one, managed to stick one of my stickers in. Wrote down like the work I did on that Friday, like my drawing and painting work, more to-do lists. But all of this section is empty, and that's fine. I don't mind. I really don't mind having blank pages. Another example. So I would kind of, if you only had one planner, this would be really good, I think, because I did use it for all sorts of different things. I feel like the column that you get for each day is a really decent sort of space. It's not intimidating, but it's not too small. I did things like sampling pens, if I got new pens, making massive lists. This is things to do instead of doom scrolling. So if in the evening I'm really tired and I just pick up my phone and I start like scrolling, and inevitably you come across something horrible because that's what the internet wants us to look at, and then you obviously don't feel very good. So I wrote a list of things to do instead of doom scrolling, and I need to come back to this because I think I need this large on the wall somewhere right in my face, so that preferably by the sofa, because that's where I usually flop down, so that I remember to actually do some of these things. So I put one of my little tabs on there, but I do need to come back to that and do something more with it. I bought a few stamps, so I tried a few little stamp things, like a little home stamp where I wrote down what I did. Gaming, did I play any games that day? If so, did I watch anything? And did I go for a run or a walk? And it was really nice for a bit, and it looks really lovely, but again, probably did it for a couple of weeks. Everything in between here is probably like blank or personal, but I would say 50% blank, just so you know how much I was using it. this is a more realistic page again. I'm showing you like examples of things I tried and then actually what really happened. So yeah, a lot of blank pages. And this is like last week. So I stuck that in because I thought I should remember that I made my little ideas jar that day. I've got a post about that on Patreon. If you join as a free member, you can read what that was about and my stuck in that because I released that sheet on that day. But yeah, as you can see, it's blank. And the reason it's blank is because, I don't know, I just fell off using it. As I said, it's a really nice planner and I'm going to keep going to the end of the year having it, and I probably will stick things in. And I do think I will come back and at least do all the memory keeping. I think I will print some photos off and stick them in. And it is such nice paper and I really love the sort of the design of it. It's really nice. So I'm not like completely abandoning it, and I haven't really replaced it with anything else. But yeah, just in terms of the fact that I haven't used as much, well, not actually, that's not the reason. I wouldn't say that because I've got blank pages I'm not going to get it again, because I think I have blank pages every year. I think the reason I won't do this again is because I'm going to split everything out again. I'm going to split EDC and memory keeping, and my creative work is all going back into separate planners. So this is too large for any of those, essentially. But again, a lovely planner. And I just have, what I do is, because I'm so terrible at memory keeping, I tend to shove things in these little plastic files, like random bits of paper, or if I print photos off, whatever, and then at some point I will go through these and stick them in. I want to show these because this, when I'm thinking about the Hobonichi release, my sort of wish, but also deep fear, is that they will do a collaboration with this illustrator. It's a children's book series, Japanese, called Bam and Kero. This is Bam, and the little frog is Kero, because Kero is the noise frogs make, I think. Like Kero, Kero, Kero. But basically, if they do a collaboration with them, and there's a fairly high chance they will, because the same publisher that they've collaborated with previously is the publisher of these books. So I feel like it's going to happen at some point. And I'm sort of terrified because I can say to myself, I'm not getting any covers, I'm not getting any Hobonichi. But the second that they do this character, this illustrator, I'm going to have to buy everything, and I can't afford it. So yeah, sort of hoping they do, but sort of hoping they don't. But anyway, that is my take a note, A5 take a note for 2025. So when I found myself getting overwhelmed with using the take a note for everything, I was feeling like I needed just a little something just to keep me on track, just with like key dates in and key times, so that I could just quickly reference it, and it was only that information, so I didn't get overwhelmed and distracted by everything else. And because this was too big to sort of carry everywhere, which I never did, I never took this out anywhere, I went and dug out my little Micro 5 Ashford. And I thought I'll just shove in here a weekly. I didn't even put a monthly in here. I just put the weekly calendar in. This is an Ashford weekly calendar, and just put in the key things that I need to remember. So it just it just makes it a lot easier for me. If I panic, you know, oh my god, I haven't actually looked at my schedule for 3 days. What if I've missed an appointment? I can just go straight here, open it, and then be like, oh, it's okay, I haven't missed anything, calm down. That's kind of how I check my my EDC in a panic. So this has worked because the only information in here really is this. I have some other things in here, but in terms of information, it's just this. And that actually really helps me to just know that I can trust this. I can just pop in here, check what dates, check what I need to do. Half the time there's nothing there anyway. Yeah, makes it a whole of a lot easier. And this I carried with me, so I can fit this in my little, I don't have a handbag. I'm not a handbag person. It's sort of like a little shoulder sling bum bag thing. Can shove this in. I'll sometimes do like a daily to-do list. On the days when I'm feeling like, I need a to-do list, I can just do it on here on a rough piece of paper. And then I think what I'll do in terms of archiving is take that out and stick it in my Take a Note. So I've done that with a couple of them now, just stuck random to-do lists, because I'll do a to-do list on anything actually. I'll do it on a random scrap of paper anywhere, and then once I've done that, I then stick it on the relevant day in here. So all it has in here is space if I need a to-do list, the weekly calendar, and then all of the rest. I mean, I did try and do like a tracker for perimenopausal symptoms, but I didn't bother to fill it in because I'm lazy. I've got stickers, which I never use, but I just kind of wanted to try because I thought it'd be cute to have them in here. So I just shoved a load of those in. And then at the back, I thought I was going to set up like some names and addresses. The idea being that that's basically all I need to take out with me is contact information and a schedule. That's the absolute minimum, really. But it was fun to sort of set up, so I ended up doing a few little things. There's a photo of my son behind there. And then I did this like scrap notes, anything can go in here, book at the back, which I've used a few times. So I take this to work, and then if I'm sat at my desk and I suddenly think of something, I'd write in here. And it's just a cute little compact system. Oh, and the best thing about the Ashford planners is they have an adjustable leather pen holder. They're really expensive. I got this like reduced dramatically secondhand a while ago, God knows when. And it, look, the pen holder can go tiny, skinny, or it can go really, like it can go super chunky, like ridiculous chunky, which is perfect because I think if you own a Filofax, you know the stress of having a ridiculously tiny pen holder. So you can basically put your pen in and tuck it in tight, like you're tucking it into bed, and it's perfect. And I like the Kaigi because it's just a really cute length for this. So yeah, there's that, and that is what I've been using, just sort of like an EDC, just so I can make sure I'm not missing things or getting confused. And the reason I've got this weeks here on the desk, despite the fact that I haven't really used this and I'm sad, it's so gorgeous. I love this. I'm sorry about all the glare, by the way. I can't get the angle right with the lamp. But yeah, I haven't used it. I mean, I have. I started doing tracking meals at one point, and that's basically the only reason I've been using it, trying to track meals, but it's been very sporadic, not like I've hardly used it, but I'm still keeping it and I'm still loving it because I just love a Hobonichi Weeks. And the reason I've got it out here now to show you, apart from to demonstrate that I completely did not use it, is that I had thought, oh, I'll use this, it's tiny, it'll be more compact than a Weeks as an everyday carry. But actually, in terms of volume, they're not that different. And I just went and weighed both of them, and this is heavier, so I took the pen off. This is heavier, and I think it's because it's obviously leather and it has metal. This is actually heavier than this one, and it's slightly more impractical in size. So I'm thinking, my plan at the moment next year is this will be the everyday carry again, and I'm quite happy about that. I'd love to go back to Weeks and use that as my everyday carry because I have missed it. And the only reason I haven't just completely gone into here is because I feel like I want to see the Take a Note out to the end of the year. I don't like having my year split out between two different places. So rather than jump into the Weeks and just use the Weeks as an everyday carry for the rest of the year, I'm using this because I know I can take these pieces of paper out and glue them in here. So at the end, that will just be, you know, that can be shelved for another time, but everything will still be in this Take a Note. So that's my plan. Next up is my personal journal. I always have to have a space where I feel like I can go and I can write things and I can vent and I can explore ideas and thoughts and feelings and just talk about stuff, and it's not ever going to be viewed by anybody. And I feel like I need this space to be comforting and safe. You know, obviously everyday carry and memory keeper, they're really useful to have as reference in the future to look back on and see what we were doing when. And if there's photos in, they can be quite fun to look through. Not that I ever look back through anything. I find that really difficult, actually. I don't know if that's connected to the fact that I find memory keeping difficult, but I actually find it really hard to look back on the past because it somehow makes me really not sad, but I find it like, oh, like if I look at pictures of like my son when he was little, it sort of makes me miss it too much, so I can't watch, can't look at it. I don't know why. But anyway, what am I saying? Yes, this is my personal journal. So this is my safe space. So I'm obviously not going to show you anything on the inside, the actual pages. But I have this gorgeous cover, which is probably my favourite ever cousin cover. I just love it so much. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. The lovely hug on the front and the fact that it's this elephant is got the same name as me. It's so cute. I love it. So yeah, I won't show you the insides, but I will just tell you that it is a Hobonichi Hon, and I won't bother taking out the cover. It is just the white, it's actually cream slash cover, you know, the one that has the gold slash on it. There's basically no decoration in here. I've got 3 little pictures here that I put because when I saw them on Pinterest, they made me feel better about myself. And my plan is, when I see that, I print them out and I put them here. Because quite often when I open this journal, I'm not feeling that great. So it's just nice to have that there. And then otherwise, I'm ignoring the dates completely at the moment. And I'm just writing. And I just write. And then the next day I just put the date and then I write. And I just keep going like that. So I'm I'm almost keeping up with the actual dates because there are big chunks of time where I don't write at all. And then there's chunks of time where I write absolutely tons. But I am actually still, it's July now, and I am actually on the July pages. So, yeah, it works. And I use fountain pen because I love using fountain pen, and I just write whatever I need to write. And I haven't used these pages at all, but I'm thinking if I get to the end of the book and I run out of space and it's still 2025, I'll go back and write on those, just literally write across the page. I don't think this was my intention when I bought this cousin. I think I planned to do something different with it. And then I ended up using it for this because I feel like the cousin's always my friend. Like, as in, it's a trusted friend. I've had a cousin for quite a few years now. And I feel like I know it. It feels familiar. And it is, you know, it's a secure relationship I have with the Hobonichi cousin, so I feel comfortable in it. So I'm probably going to get another one next year, hopefully. And I don't think I'll necessarily write. I'm sort of using this for morning pages. It's morning journaling at the moment, and I'm thinking to do my morning journaling in a Stalogy because there's no format on a Stalogy. It's just plain grid. Because I don't really need, you know, to have dated pages for that kind of writing. So I'm probably going to plan is have a Stalogy in this cover. So this is my like comforting writing cover. But then I do want to have a cousin for another sort of personal space where I can do things. Because at the moment, this sounds weird, but because I've used this for my morning pages are quite stressful a lot of the time. Not all the time, but it's where I sort of process like difficult things. I don't really want to use this for anything else. So, but I still want to use a cousin. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I feel like I should just stop now. I'll probably change this anyway. But I'll keep you updated. But the plan so far is to have a cousin for a safe space for me for next year. So that's all I can show you for that one. But that is my sort of personal me safe space journal. So as I explained, in my Techo note, I was trying to combine my everyday carry, my memory keeping, and my creative work, and then decided I couldn't deal with that. So in terms of creative work, I decided to move out of the Techo note and move back into a system that I've used maybe, I think, a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And it is a traveler's notebook style that I made. Got some crud on the back, I think that's glue on the back. And I don't particularly like it, the cover. It's very dark and serious. It looks very business-like. This is actually the fabric from Japan. It's very, very delicate and lovely, but I think this is more like for a men's yukata, I think. A formal yukata? I don't know. It's not business suit fabric, but it does look quite formal to me. Anyway, I digress. So I made this with, I think it's got 4 strings. It's got 4 elastics, so I can fit 4 books on, which is useful because I feel like that you're juggling lots of different things when you're doing like self-employed work. So you might have to have a calendar, you might have to have a book for printing and suppliers, you might have a book for random ideas. So the Traveller's Notebook system, I think, works the best for that kind of thing, because you can work on a project and you can have a project insert, and then when you finish that project, you can take it out and replace it with another project. So I think this system definitely works best for work, and I'm probably going to carry on with this next year. Just got some washi tape shoved in here. So I have, at the moment, I actually only have 3 inserts. And it's mostly because I'm sort of going through a period of working out what I want to do next. I focused entirely on Patreon digital sheets for a couple of years because postage just got ridiculous during COVID. So I stopped doing physical items. And then I moved to the UK, and because I got a day job, I then had less time. And I've sort of struggled to try and work out how I can keep going doing this, but have it at a comfortable level, sort of thing. So I'm sort of going through sort of another change. It happens all the time. I'm going through another sort of review and planning new ideas and thinking what to do. And at the moment, so there's only 3 notebooks in here. And actually, the first one and the last one are kind of the same thing. And I'm not sure I need both of them, but I'll explain that as I go. So the first one is just random ideas, random notes. And it can be just randomly writing stuff, making notes for doing a video, just having a little think about what's going on, making notes from YouTube videos. I don't think there's anything personal in here. YouTube video ideas, Patreon post ideas. I'm thinking about doing something physical again. So this is another spoiler, but I am thinking about doing a newsletter, but a printed newsletter like a zine, and sending that out because I feel like being extra analog. So that's sort of, it's just exploring random ideas in this notebook. Next one is a calendar, and I had a blank, I can't remember the number, it's one of the blank Traveller's Notebook ones where you fill it in yourself. And because I started this halfway through June, I had enough pages to have the calendar spread and then an extra page, and the calendar spread and then an extra page. And the way I'm doing this is I don't plan things on here so far. I use the calendar to log what I have done. So if I've done a Patreon post, if I've done my digital sheet on Patreon, I've written down if I do morning pages, because morning pages with me are tied into this like being creative thing. If I do finished projects, just I basically log down. It's more like a log. I'm logging what I get done each day, and then because I can't schedule things, I find it really hard to say, right, I'm going to release a video on this date, release a video on this date. If I do that, it's just not going to happen, and all that will happen is that I'll look at it and feel bad because I didn't manage to get it done. So I use the calendar as a log, but also because I'm coming in here daily and logging, or pretty much daily, I can see when the month ends. So that is enough pressure for me to look through my task lists and think, oh, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? It sort of keeps me aware of what day of the month it is, because without having this, I'll get to the end of the month and I'll be like, oh, I haven't done anything. So that's how I'm using that. And then the page in between is going to be specific task lists for that month. And I'm testing something out where I break everything down into tiny little steps. So if I have an idea of a project, I break it down into the tiniest steps, and then I just try one each day. And this is the only way I feel like I can not get overwhelmed. So for example, setting up my ideas jar, which is essentially a glass jar full of ideas, so that when I get overwhelmed, I can open it and pull an idea out, and I'll just focus on that and not worry about all the others. And step 1 is find a jar. So that took me a couple of days, but it's not like if I sat down and said, right, I'm going to do my ideas jar today, I'd just be like, what do I do? Where do I start? And then I probably wouldn't do it. Whereas if I break it down into tiny little steps, find coloured papers is step 3. Because Yeah, anyway, I'm sort of elaborating a little bit too much, but yeah, what I'm doing is trying to break everything down into teeny tiny steps, and it has really been working so far, so I'm quite happy about that. I haven't planned August yet because we're going to be away, but I do need to really, really work hard on making sure what I want to do, I break down into tiny steps so that I actually get these things done, because I've spent months and months not getting anything done because I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to choose, blah, 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 blah. Ending up with block, ending up just lying on the sofa, feeling absolutely useless, and just watching YouTube and watching other people do things. Anyway, we're not talking about that in this video, are we? Sorry. Okay. So, focus. I'm trying to focus. What was I saying? So that's the first notebook, which is random ideas and notes, and that is my calendar to keep me on schedule. And I made this notebook thinking it would be long-term sort of things, like ideas and plans and stuff. But actually, I don't think it is going to be long-term, because I think I do these things. This is me working through my block, by the way, my creative block, and what was stopping me. I should probably talk about this in another video, but essentially that notebook and this notebook, they're probably the same thing, so I probably don't really need two. So I'll probably work through this one, and then when I finish that one, start on that one. But I do think I will be adding a notebook in when I start a new project fully. When I've decided on the project and I set it up and I know what I'm going to do. So if it is going to be things like my newsletter for Patreon, or a Christmas project, because I would really like to do a big Christmas project with physical items. That is the plan. I'm so scared, but that's what I want to do. Then I will then add in a notebook for each of those once I know what they are. So, I didn't mean to go into that much detail. I do apologise. That is my creative work planner. And then these 3 notebooks, journals, are additional to my main functioning annual workbooks. So these 2 I'll do at the end. Let's end on a high, because they worked. This one, I cannot get over my love for the English planner. It is the first open each I ever got. I love it. I love the design. I love the little gold date on the bottom. I love how basic, it's not colourful like the normal Japanese, the original A6 Hobonichi. I don't know. I think it's sentimentality that makes me want to keep using this. I started off the year thinking I'm going to do it to do drawings in daily. So I stuck a few of my old stickers in and started drawing. And there was no pressure. These are not obviously final fancy drawings. It was just me doodling with whatever I felt like doing on that day. And I was doing it last thing at night, and I probably was a bit too tired to be doing it then, but there's not really much chance otherwise. And I did that for, let's see, when did I stop? I guess there. So didn't even make it to the end of January, and then just stopped. And I'm pretty sure there's nothing. I just stuck a random sticker in there. Some building I built on Minecraft, which I suppose is creativity. And then I stopped using it, and I'm just so sad. Then I started writing random notes in it, and this is literally all there is, by the way. It's just that page, those, and then again, it's all blank. And so yeah, this is probably my big failure of the year, as in, not that I make myself feel bad about it, I'm just a bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed that I didn't use it, because it's such a cute little book and the paper's lovely. I've been lucky, I haven't had any problems with Hobonichi paper, the Tomoe River paper, Sanzen paper, sorry. It's just fine. I've been lucky about it. So I'm thinking I'm going to try going back to doing a drawing a day. But I don't know. I'll keep you updated on that one. I just can't let it go. It's just so cute and lovely. Then the next one that's sort of additional is this one. So this is the gorgeous little A6 Hon. I never bought an A6 Hon until now. And I did buy this for a specific purpose, and I've used it for that purpose, and I'm very happy with it. So this is my ink journal. And I think it's a perfect cover for it, with this artwork on the front with the rainbow, because that's rainbow colours and colours of ink. So I decided to sort of do each month as a different colour group. So I sort of worked it out roughly. Always have a piece of blotting paper in here, obviously. So I use this one, I just do a line and a squiggle, just so that I can look through them, and if I like that colour, flip to that page and I know what it is. And it's just quite nice to see the little lines all the way down. Then on the monthly I do the same, but this time I do a bigger blob and I write what they are. So everything is in here 3 times basically, but it's kind of fun. There's February. So January is obviously browns, February is reds, March looks like purples, April orange and yellow. I think I'll do orange and yellow together because I'm not going to have that many yellow inks or orange inks. May is obviously green, I think. June is blue, and then I don't think I've got any more yet. And then on the daily pages, I do a sample and then some little writing samples. So this is obviously not going to be just this year. I'm going to keep going with this. Every time I get a new ink sample, it can go in here, and this will just be a constant for everything. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. Yeah, nothing much to say about that really. I just think that was the perfect cover to choose and the perfect format for an ink journal, so I'm very happy with that. And at some point I might cover up 2025 with like ink or an ink journal, an ink picture, but I've got plenty of time to do that because that's obviously not being archived at the end of the year. And then the last thing I want to show is my little camping traveller's notebook. So I bought a tent this year. I've been meaning to for absolutely ages, and it was one of my goals this year to go camping and be brave about it because I was a bit nervous. Not about putting the tent up. I'm fine about putting tents up and all the practical stuff. Just the going and sort of sleeping on your own, me and my son in a tent. And I don't know, I think I was a bit concerned about security and stuff, but we've done it a few times now and it's been fine. So this is a brown traveller's notebook, pocket size, passport size, sorry. I had some fabric from my granny, some sort of, I don't want to say vintage because this is probably 80s, 70s, 1970s, 1980s, but I love the colours in it. And I used it to make a folder thing with a pen holder. And I made it specifically to fit the Uni 1P pen because it's just the perfect pen. So yeah, this is just all sewn fabric to make this folder. I've got random little, this is actually a repair kit I think for the airbeds. Just I've stuck some like bits of card in that I feel like go with the theme of being like outdoorsy, but I haven't really used them yet. Some more stuck in there. This is the traveller's notebook cardboard folder thing. Sorry, I have no idea what it's called. And I stuck some sort of camping-y type stickers on there. These are some of my stickers. And then I only have one insert in here, really, because all I'm doing at this point, and I actually started at the back because I knew it was going to be sort of rough notes like on things. So in the back it's just things like what do I need to get, like planning which tent, like tent space sizes and packing lists, choosing a sleeping bag, trying to choose one that's like good quality but a decent price, meal ideas. It's just really rough, and that's all that's in there. But this, I just wanted to share this as an example of, this is a planner that I set up this year, and it is for a specific subject, and I'm very happy with it. And I can take it with me, and it's only small and lightweight, and when I go camping I take this because I'm always sat there thinking, oh, I should have bought the so-and-so, or I didn't really need this. So I can just scribble rough notes in here. So I'm really happy with that one. So that's it for me for my mid-year Techo Kaigi. Couple of things that didn't quite work as I wanted them to, but otherwise I've still enjoyed using them, and I've still appreciated them, and I'm glad I have them all, and I feel very lucky because they're gorgeous, and I'm so, I don't know, I'm just happy with everything basically, even if I don't use them. Sorry if I repeat myself a lot in this video. I know I do that, and it's because I'm trying to keep myself on track and remind myself what I'm talking about, because I get confused very easily with my thoughts. So I wrote notes about how to go through the video, and I think I stuck to it. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And any questions, put them down below. And I might make a video soon, maybe, about Hobonichi choices. I was thinking to touch on it in this video, but I don't think I will. But I feel like I wanted to make a video about going into Hobonichi season because I feel a bit nervous about it. I'm always nervous because it's the only indulgence I have, basically, in life. I don't buy myself clothes much, barely anything. And if I do the second hand, I don't buy myself fancy makeup. I certainly don't buy myself shoes and handbags. I don't get my hair cut at salons. I don't go out for meals. I don't go to the pub. Do you know what I mean? I just don't do anything much. But I always feel guilty for splurging on these things, even though it's the only thing I spend money on to treat myself. So I don't know. I was wondering whether to make a video talking about like dealing with that sort of guilt, or dealing with feeling like sort of a pressure because you don't want to spend all the money, but they're just so tempting and they do such good designs, and they always bring out, Hobonichi always brings out something that I've never seen before, introduces us to a new artist, or I don't know, a new illustrator, and we're like, oh god, I never saw the illustrator before, and he's sort of like, I don't know, it's just so exciting. But I'm also a bit nervous about how much money inevitably it's going to cost. I mean, I feel like they're worth the money, but you know, it's a little bit stressful. But anyway, I probably will stop the video now because I think I'm just rambling. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understood everything I said. I know I talk really quickly. I'm clearly completely out of practice for making videos. I haven't made any in a long time. So there's a few on Patreon, but I've not made anything for YouTube in a while. So thank you very much if you made this far, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.